Now? Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6:30. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the first up is to amend the agenda. Does anyone need to amend the agenda?
You want to put something on there to talk about?
Oh.
meeting schedule?
Yep, so I would like to amend the agenda to discuss two of our next meetings that fall, one on the day before Thanksgiving, the other on Christmas Eve. So we'll add, perfect. We'll add that to new business at the bottom.
Mhm.
Is there any discussion? Ryan, how do you vote?
I guess.
Aye.
Well, this is to amend.
Yeah, so we're gonna add those dates to the end of new business. Just in time.
Walking in feelings.
Are there any public comments for items not on the agenda? All right, we're gonna move right into new business with a discussion item with Chief Dan. I'm sorry, Dennis one, yep. Approve the previous minutes from October 22nd.
Make a motion.
Second. Is there any discussion? Ryan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
You can clarify who you got credit for the first and second, just for the minutes.
I got second.
You guys,
She did get second.
Give it to Ryan.
We're gonna say Ryan.
okay, there you go.
Now we're gonna get back to a discussion item with Chief Daniels for the police department update. Right up to the hot seat.
Okay, and I asked the chief to stop in. He's been here for a little while now to just give us an update on what's going on.
Okay.
There's a thing in your package that.
Yep, so it's been 6 months as of the first. So I gave him an update on our staffing. We have Officer Bassett, who many of you know, he's a younger kid. He's currently doing training in the military police, so he'll be back after the beginning of the year. He went through the part-time academy. We're just waiting on him to do the certification on him. Our plan is to send him to the full-time academy next year. Fortunately, he won't make the one in February because of conflicts with scheduling. So we're hoping for the next, generally August. Officer Guzowitz is another part-time officer we have, level 2. He's just waiting on one more class, and then he'll be a level 2 certified officer as well, which will bring us up to full staffing. Obviously, when Officer Bassett goes to the academy, we'll be down for a couple of months, but we did hire a part-time officer, Officer John Graham. He worked with me in Weathersfield.
He's part-time, I'm sorry.
He's part-time with us, but he's a full-time certified officer in the state of Vermont.
Oh, he's,
So he started with us a few months ago. As I said, he's full-time certified in the state of Vermont. So he gets, he comes with a ton of experience for us. Sergeant Favreau will,
another question, sorry. Is Officer Graham, was he hired because we had a position open?
he's a part-time officer. So what we try to do is, especially with all the details we have over the summer,
Oh, yeah.
we get extra staffing. So if the full-time guys don't want to do it, we can backfill it. And also he's been helping out with the absence of Sergeant Favreau, who was out on medical leave.
So when someone comes back, then what happens? He just goes back?
He'll just stay on as a part-time. He is part-time right now. He doesn't work full-time for us. He just covers a shift or 2 a week
Okay.
to alleviate some of the stress for the guys.
I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, but I had these questions written
That's
down.
okay.
There's a part-time budget too. There is allocation.
Yes.
Part-time officers to work and fill in and add extra hours and stuff.
We usually have Joe Pregent is another officer who comes in and is backfilling for us. He also does Governor Safety Highway for us. Sergeant Favreau, we found out yesterday, will return December 1st. So we're looking forward to that. And then Detective Barry just got promoted to Officer First Class. And that's part of a contractual thing. As far as equipment, we just bought the brand new Durango. Many people have noticed that it's white. We've had a lot of positive feedback on it. And one of the reasons we went with white was the paint job was going to be quite expensive to have it turned to a black and white unit. So we decided not to go that route. And we figured if we get feedback from the community, if it wasn't good, then we could always change it at a later date. I'm not going to deal with the first calls for service because it was, you guys can read that. We don't want to dredge that up again. Officer Abujadel, everybody knows over the summer, we went to that house and dealt with the over 140 animals that were removed. That was quite an extensive investigation he did and involved a lot of different agencies, a lot of humane societies, veterinarian care and all that. We're happy to report that a majority of them have been adopted out, and we have offered services through the police liaison to that family for assistance and dealing with it, and hopefully we never get that situation again. While Officer Fabro is out, we've been continuing the school resource program. So we've all been taking turns going to the schools, going to the events, the bike to school events, the Halloween parade. So we are excited to have him return so he can focus on that. We have also made a presence at various sporting events, town events. We continue to do all the summer events like we used to over in West Windsor. So we had a very successful season with them. Everything went well. We had assistance from the sheriff a couple of times on some of the calls. And then we have also signed with Rutland, who currently Rutland County Sheriff's Department is sponsoring the Governor Safety Highway Grant. So we've been taking part in it for years. And this year we signed on with them again and are taking part in it. And that gives us extra overtime money for the officers to go out and patrol the streets during holidays, targeted timeframes when there's a lot of vehicles, accidents, et cetera.
You said here you had 2010 calls for the service. Is that from January of
Yes.
this year?
I would ask about the liaison. Is this the person we contract with from Springfield?
So she's technically, she works for HCRS.
Okay. that's
So it's the grant through HCRS. So we get her 1 day a week and the remainder of the day she works in Bellows Falls.
Okay. And what's her name?
Barb?
Okay. So I used to
I'm
know
going to mess up
someone-
her last name, so I won't attempt
I
it.
don't think it's Barb. Okay. Well, you had asked that question. Right.
Yeah, I wanted, you were able to come to not the last Jedi meeting, but the one before, yes.
It didn't get recorded.
That didn't get recorded, but I was gonna say Chief Daniels came in and answered a lot of questions about what the department is doing to stay on top of tough situations and how you're dealing with training and how you're dealing with more training and how to make sure the department is fully rounded and fleshed out in this year.
And we also, right now, we're in the process of doing a lot of emergency meetings with the churches, hospitals, schools. So Barb's actually been taking part in the ones with Mount Scottney Hospital because of the HRS aspect of it.
Why?
Because, so they have to have a plan in place for the state, and with all the mental health crisis that we have, they
Okay.
need to have part of the program that they submit to the state has to have when they're dealing with mental illnesses. So her and her team have been taking parts in those. So,
And they're in the emergency room. HCRS is in the emergency room a lot too, because I know that I worked
Mhm.
with one of the HCRS people and they're in the ER a lot.
yes, they are.
Yes. So they're a really good resource for the hospital.
Questions? Good. You had your 5 seconds. That was it.
I don't know what you're gonna do with the other 50 minutes. I told you you had, figure you'll be here an hour.
You can call the guys from downstairs and go and dance for you.
I've seen him dance. You know.
No, no, it'll be entertaining now. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. All right, next up, discussion item, budget process.
It's here now. It's budget season, holiday season. too bad they fall at the same time.
They say this is the best time of the year.
Yeah, yeah, for some. So I put this expected schedule, same as we've always done, every once a week for the month of January. It's Wednesdays, like the select board meetings. I don't have a date for the kind of like the kickoff meeting in December where the budget committee meets with the select board and you have kind of just a 30,000 foot discussion on expectations and what you're looking for. It'll be, when you guys pick a date tonight, I'll send that out. 3 of the budget committee members from last year have said they want to continue. I haven't heard from the 4th.
Is that guy's name Doug?
Doug Cohen. I suggested he may want to be on the planning commission
Did we
or the
scare him?
budget, but he hasn't reached out, I don't think.
Sorry.
I also
I apologize.
use
Please continue.
somebody else who we.
Put the word out. It's in the newsletter and on Facebook and
Yes.
things like that. And the time commitment is, you guys are familiar with that. So speak freely to encourage grounded,
Yes.
thoughtful,
Yes.
not axe grinding people to be involved. Let's see, in general, this is not going to be fun. Okay? We had a pretty big tax increase last year on the municipal side. Fortunately, the school didn't go that way. Things that we know so far on the good side, the health insurance only went up, I think, 4.4% instead of 23 like it did last year, but it's 4.4% on top of the 23. We're going to be in contract negotiations here shortly, but labor's not going to be cheap and labor's half the budget. So unless there is a meaningful change in staffing, like we want less coverage, that's kind of a baked in thing.
July 1, those contracts are up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna plan for it's coming, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in touch with ASME, so they're putting their stuff together. I'm putting our general stuff together. The police are going through who's their representative because of some organizational issues there. So, but doesn't seem like that's going to delay things. But this is, we are not in an environment where you can negotiate with a lot of aggressiveness to get what you have for less. It's still a very competitive market. You can get bad employees for less, but you can't get good employees for less. So we are where we are. Fortunately, we have good staff. I mean, we're essentially fully staffed everywhere. So, and there's reasons for that. It goes back to the pay adjustments we did before. And then in addition to that, we have the bond debt for the HVAC stuff at the town hall. I should be getting the finalized numbers for the Durkee and Central Street paving. I can't see how that's going to be less than $1 million. Doesn't mean you have to do it, but we've been talking around about it for a long time. As you know, I'm leaving. Chief McAllister is leaving. Mike Reynolds is leaving, all retiring. And there are payouts. November, I think.
Okay.
Mike has got a very well thought out, clever plan that no one will get except him.
Tom is gonna actually take over as
I may do that. Well, yeah, I already am, but he makes more than me. So, I may do that as my fill-in thing.
And when is Kevin?
I mean, I thought it says the end of September is.
Yeah,
the thing.
October 1st is his hire date. Mike's 38 years comes to an end on November 28th of next year.
Wow.
So yeah, the long times. And there are decisions that can be made of not replacing people right away. So their paid time off isn't paying 2 people for the same slot, but you can't do that forever. I wouldn't recommend doing that with me.
in department. I mean, those are 2 positions that would be really hard to not have people.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it like for a month.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. It's transition coming up, but it's one-off costs they're coming up and they're not cheap.
Talking about paying like all their paid time off.
Right, yeah, you figure they're gonna have 2 months worth of payroll that either is duplicated payroll with the replacement and we always absorb it. I mean, we've never budgeted for it. And it gets absorbed one way or the other. But this is free, so.
He's talking, and you'll be kind enough to give that all back to the town, so we appreciate that, taking the hometown discount on that, Don.
Yeah, I know in my tax returns, I'm here at a loss.
Yeah.
Like, I don't report any, whatever I make coming in, but then all my goodwill and extra effort is a negative offset. So I get a tax credit every year for working here.
Oh, see?
I don't know how I'm gonna do it when
Just write that down. We didn't. We're talking about the contract negotiations though. Didn't we last year though, kind of preemptively give them pretty significant raises? Is that last year? Paula Stone.
24, yeah, I forget, 23 or 24. The contracts were supposed to end in 25. We extended them to 26. And yeah, in the 20 to 30% range over the time period that they got. So, once again, we did that because other contracts were up and we were very non-competitive. And there are contracts up now. And all that did was brought us to the competitive level of the day with other communities that weren't fully staffed. So, there's nothing to say that police and fire and truck drivers and wastewater technicians and water technicians are easy to find. And fortunately, while there's only 4 people in the utility department, they're all very good. And it's more a physical problem to get all of that done with 3 people. We used to have 5. We reduced it to 4 a few years ago. And to do that with free, and then you figure between all of them, there's going to be probably 3 months of the year where somebody's on vacation, just the way it goes. And the same thing with the highway department. The highway gets help from the utility department on plowing, and the same thing from the fire department on plowing, but so we say every year we have really small departments. It's not like you can go from 18 employees to 16. You can't go from 4 to 3. And in the cops, it's the same thing. 10 to 9 means a change in service. Could mean a change in contracts. So, same story, different year. But yeah, I don't hear, we're not seeing any more delinquency than we have in the past. A lot of the people that find themselves in financial trouble are the same ones. It's a bigger problem than just what's going on here. But I plan on doing a couple of preemptive things on like affordability of housing, things that aren't the town's thing, but not to give away all, I won't rant on about it, but a third of our town is protected lands, either through the state park or the wildlife management area. I was surprised to find out a third of the town is in current use. So that's the state paying people to specifically not develop their land and giving them a tax break for that.
You said how much?
About a third, yeah. So
1/3 of the town is taxable property.
right. Yeah, so that's what's left. And then when you factor in the floodways and brownfields and all that, where houses already are existing, my point with the current use thing is there is an existing government program that pays you not to develop your land. That gives you a very clear signal on whether or not the people in Vermont want the land developed. They don't.
Yeah, right.
So what we have is people going, housing costs too much. And it does, but there's no supply. And when the state comes out with, let's do infill housing, which is what their whole focus has been, that doesn't generate 10,000 new houses. That generates 1,000 new houses kind of thing. So anyway, so the point of all that is grandless growth is really not going to be an option. It hasn't been in the past unless something pops with the prison. We're not going to get a lot of new grandlist revenue. We're not going to get a lot of revenue that, and we may get program revenue. Like if we want to do some paving or wastewater and water treatment, there's grants for that help pay, but not just to, pay for the operations of the community. So it'll be hard. My point is you either pick, you want to continue the momentum the town has or you don't. but you can't wish that it continues for less money. So anyway, just put that out there. And then I sent a copy of the survey to everybody today.
So most of what you're saying is.
I just have to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to look at it yet.
Well, you sure we're reading Bill's thing.
So what about,
Earlier.
what's going on, like with the ambulance services and that whole thing? Like, do you think that that's something that will affect this year's budget?
It could, and we'll have
Okay.
more, fortunately, October was back on track.
Really?
Oh,
So, and I've asked the fire department to add a column, like they would just do total runs. I break it out 911 runs versus total runs to see which are the non-discretionary runs and that kind of flow. But like I said, the 3 months came out of the blue. Downstairs, they're not saying, oh, well, blank changed. They've looked into, they've contacted both the hospitals about the new ambulance service or relationships with the organizations, Dartmouth starting their own, that kind of thing. And they didn't come back and say, oh, yeah. So basically what they came back with is, what? You're talking about getting out of the transfer business? You can't do that. We rely on you too much. So our response was, well, if you rely on us too much, then we're relying on you too. So think of us first. So anyway,
but that still means that there's a deficit there, even though you couldn't have made up for that $100,000 deficit in 1 month, right?
oh, no, yeah. I mean, all that did is now we don't have another, month
Added
worth of,
to
yeah,
the deficit.
right. So it's, yeah, the way that was going so sudden and like nothing's let up. We're
Right.
still doing all the analysis and, Natalia's going through the stuff with them to see what do you want to do about it? I mean, just because it's fixed doesn't mean that's still the right answer.
Yeah.
So,
Say something.
Yeah.
I did talk with a friend about that and the need for the ambulances at the hospital. And she said, from her perspective, there just had not been a much of a need. She said she wasn't seeing a lot of ambulances coming and going, period. So I don't know what that was about, but that's her observation.
okay.
Because I shared with her that we were wondering what was happening, and that's what she came up with.
And sometimes with public service, there's just anomalies where, and I think it's still something we need concerning and we need to keep an eye on. Sometimes with
Right.
public safety stuff, there's just anomalies where you aren't busy for a little bit, and then there's times where it doesn't stop. And it sounds like,
Could have just been a fluke.
So the 1 month thing all the time,
Yeah.
but that's where 3 months were almost exactly the same. Anyway, it was time to do things have changed a lot just in how the reimbursements work, cost of labor, cost of equipment, and the fees haven't kept up with those escalations.
it really went backwards a couple of years ago.
They did. And that, what it always comes down to is if we were in business to make money, we couldn't do what we're doing to make money. Like Golden Cross has a variety of other services, wheelchair transportations and that kind of stuff.
They also don't, sorry, I keep interrupting, but they also don't pay what, I mean, we're a full, we have
Our people make more than theirs do and they're firefighters in addition and all that. So our model would not work in the private sector. What we try to do is provide competent fire and emergency ambulance service for the least possible cost to the community. And so far that has always been augmenting it with the discretionary services because we're fortunate enough to have a hospital in town as well as a number of nursing homes that require that service. So it may well be that this is still the lowest cost option, not the moneymaker option, but the lowest cost option. But we do hope that we see October continuing. It gets weird in November and December too, because with the holidays, people generally not supposed to schedule a lot of surgery and stuff like that,
I think it's only going to get worse with the way health insurance is going up and what's going on with health insurance, in the new year. So I think there's going to be a lot of weird things happening.
Yeah. Well, on the other side, there has been some discussion that we're a very old community. And the older people that may use our service more are moving on to greener pastures.
Oh
so to
my
say.
God.
And younger people are moving in. Like, it's not all overnight, but if we saw, just for example, our median household income was around 45,000 a couple years ago. Now it's around 58,000. So that's still pretty low, but that's a huge jump percentage wise. And I think that's just a reflection of older fixed income folks that, getting by what they get by. And when somebody has to come in and pay 400,000 for a house, they're not making $22,000 a year. They got to be able to afford. Okay, that's that.
All right, we're moving on. We're gonna discuss select board dates because we have some funky meetings and some holidays. So I'll throw out a thought that we were having. So you'll notice right now we have a regularly scheduled meeting on the 26th of this month, which is the day before Thanksgiving. We also have a meeting, December 24th, which is Christmas Eve. So my thought was, if this works for everybody else, what if we don't have a meeting on the 26th of this month, the day before Thanksgiving?
Do Christmas Day?
Yeah. And we did Wednesday, December 3rd. And then instead of having the regularly scheduled the week after, we would also do the 17th. So our meetings would be December 3rd and the 17th, and that way it's not right next to holidays. Does that work for it?
So what about next week though?
Next week?
We had talked about next week. We might need to have a special meeting.
That's the next thing on the agenda.
Okay.
We just haven't got that far,
We haven't
but
got that far. Okay.
we may be throwing another one in there. We don't know.
Do we need 2 meetings in each month on? Do you think there's enough business on there? Would it help? Is it helpful for you to have 2 meetings then as far as like signing stuff and all that?
For me, the 17th or the middle of the month meeting would be important because that would be along where the budget committee comes and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Given that we're going to be meeting weekly, right after the holidays, that's not that big a deal. And if we need to call a special meeting prior to that, which is, it's plausible if I need signatures or something comes up, given that that's, over a month away, could happen, but it's also things in the government slow down a lot as far as paperwork flying around during Christmas season.
I can make the 3rd and the 17th works for me.
Okay.
That's me too. I just might
Works
need
for
to be
you.
remote.
Brian?
Yeah, it's already
Okay.
on my schedule.
So then we would just, do I need a motion for that? We're gonna have our regularly scheduled meetings on December 3rd and December 17th.
They're technically special meetings.
Yeah, right.
because we changed
Yeah,
it.
you'll set special meetings, like you could call me up as the chair and say, I want to have a special meeting on Friday, and nobody votes on that. You're the chair, you get to do it. So if you're saying you're going to have special meetings and then you're going to also cancel the other 2 meetings, and I'll put that out there too. So that's.
Yes. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. Everybody.
There you go. Wield
That
that
takes
power.
care of the holidays. That was a little funky there, of course. Both of them are like the day before.
What happens every year?
Yeah, okay. So next, we're gonna go into old business. Discussion or action item, town manager, search process, update / consultant. So it was last week, right, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Last week, Jeffrey and I had the opportunity to meet with Dominic Cloud. He was one of the consultants on the list that we got that Springfield was using. He's the guy that works with VLTC. So we got to have a Zoom meeting with him, and I'm gonna open my notes. I wrote everything down so that I could tell you guys.
Good question. It's because I saw this. Is he like, does he have this like consulting thing on his own, but works at VLTC, or he's like an employee of VLTC?
He is employed with
So
VLTC,
he's under there like as a
Yes.
management.
and he's also a town manager.
I
His
saw that
main
on-
job is a city manager and all.
Yeah, they call it
I
a,
was just trying to clarify
yeah.
the VLTC part.
Yeah, no, he is also employed with VLTC.
Okay.
So basically, he gave us a rundown on what it would look like if he were our consultant. So basically, as I said, right now, he's the city manager for St. Albans. So he would come in and meet with us, the select board, and the first thing that he likes to do is get a feel for us as a board and what we're looking for. And then basically, he would come in, meet with us, and if he's gonna meet with us, might as well do some work while he's meeting with us. So, the first order of business, he said, would be to see what, are we having a committee? Are we doing the select board? That's the first thing. Getting that figured out, then he would work with the select board and or committee, and he would do what he calls a SWOT analysis. And that's basically like the strengths and the weaknesses of Windsor and what we're looking for. After he works with us on all of that, he creates a recruitment brochure, which is what goes out to everybody. And then as the recruitment brochure and the advertising is out for the position, resumes start coming in. He would be the person that collects all the resumes, and then he would provide us a list of candidates. He would then schedule interviews with the candidates. He would basically be like the middleman for the entire process. So he's working with them, he's working with us, but he's the one kind of doing everything. He would help us with questions for the interview. After the first round of interviews, we would move on to a second round of interviews. We would need to do this until we get down to our final two candidates. Once we get down to two candidates, he does all the reference checks and all of the background, everything. And then once we choose who we're going to choose, he works with us on the whole offer, contra, all of that. So he helps us right to the very end. And so after meeting with him, I felt a little better because I think I finally understand how this works. Like once he actually went down, like, this is what we would do. This is how we would do it. I was like, okay, so that's how this works. A couple of my takeaways from our meeting, one, he is very thorough with everything that he does. He was very thorough with his presentation. I like that he like really digs in there, and I explained that, this isn't just trying to fill a position. We're a small town, so we're looking for someone to not just fit that position, but also fit our community. He's done previous towns and has experience with small town government, which was also one of my big takeaways. So I personally really enjoyed that meeting. Jeffrey, do you have anything that you want to add or that I missed?
Really, I agree. I mean, I think his process sounds very reasonable and reassuring. And I mean, I think one of the things, of course, being in healthcare, it jumped out at me is the confidentiality part of this process. The more people we involve in the process, i.e. a committee, that raises the risk of like breaking confidentiality. And some of these applicants may be our neighbors in other towns locally who don't want it to get out that they're looking. Mm-hmm. So I think my word of caution would be, if we do decide to go with a committee, we don't get a huge committee because of confidentiality risk, more people involved. He also says that the process will move faster if we just work as a select board and not as a committee, because of just the herding cats, I guess. But he said he's willing to go either way and help us make that decision. So,
Mary?
I was just going to ask, I mean, this sounds great and everything, but I have no experience in this. It's like, what about the MRI, that company that consults? Should we even consider talking to them and seeing?
If you would like
I
to.
don't know.
As far as the timeline goes, realistically, we would want to have somebody, we're meeting we would want to have somebody by December and be working with them in December, because ideally we should start advertising January 1st.
Yeah.
So
I'm just thinking,
we
you
can,
should look at
yeah.
one person. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Could if y'all are sorry, I think Ryan has.
Do you have any-
It doesn't cost us anything to put out an RFQ, asking for bid solicitations. Everything that Dominic's saying, and by all accounts, he's very competent and probably would be the choice that we would go with. But you also have Tommy Anarell out there, who's the same price, who I think actually picked the Springfield town manager. He certainly was the fill-in there. MRI didn't put in for Springfield's RFP, but I think they hired you, right?
Mhm.
And we're probably happy with their choice there. I just think that, talking to one person who explained, I mean, everything in his packet is just, that's the way that those things go. I think he's all super, I mean, I think he's very competent and
The
probably,
reason that I personally wanted to meet with him above the rest, and I'm okay with meeting any of the ones you guys. But, I liked that, like, yeah, they all do the same thing, but I liked that he also worked with VLTC because I thought that that just brought a lot to the table as far as what we're looking for and how we wanted to like have this whole process done. So that was like, that's what made his stand out above all of the rest.
We haven't
But,
had anything else from anybody else, so how could he stand out? from the
well,
rest?
yeah, we
haven't
can
had
do,
anything
is it a RFP?
to compare it.
What are the actual?
Request
Yeah,
for
what is
proposal.
We can,
Okay.
we can put one out.
request for qualifications, which is like, who are you even?
Yeah.
Like a resume for this.
I hesitated with that only because I think we're gonna get the same exact one that Springfield just got, but we can do it. What does it take to?
It just seems due diligence to look at more than one person. I'm not saying he wouldn't be the choice. And I have nothing against
And
him either. I'm just saying it seems
You go off
prudent
Springfield.
to check out more than one person. That's all.
If you have Springfield's are, I mean, you don't do your own request for proposal,
Mhm.
there's still some other, and again, MRI didn't put in for it.
So with us already being towards the end of November, off of this list, I mean, we can do this, but if we put one out, how long does that take?
Well, we
Are
could
there
put it
any
out-
on this
We
list
could put it out
that,
first.
We're talking.
it was the list that we got, 2 meetings ago, which I left mine at home. I
I mean,
have
I
the hard
have-
copy
I
of
have-
that, but it's the RFP from Springfield that they just did. And so
I'm not a
I was
big,
just kind of using that as like, I don't think we're gonna get anything different than what's on that list. We can go through the process, but I feel like it's just gonna waste our time at this point.
I'm not a big fan of doing the process because it makes you feel good. You need to have a desired result. To say we should do something so we can get the same result and makes me feel better, to me, that's wasting everybody's time and money. But that's just me. I don't get to vote in that. What I can tell you is a company like MRI, they're good at what they do when a community has to fill an unexpected vacancy. MRI is good because they have a stable of retired managers, police chiefs, accountants, stuff like that, and municipal resources. That's what they do. So, hey, I need a 3-month town manager. MRI is good at that. They're also, in the business of finding permanent replacements. They're bigger in a more regional sense. It's not like they're national, but you lose the, I'll say the personal touch. They're not as familiar with the communities. Both Springfield and Windsor have been talking about needing a replacement for quite some time. Springfield did a good job to go out and vet these different agencies. They chose Dominic for, I think, the same reasons that I would suggest that you do. And I know Dominic, but I haven't talked to Dominic for probably 3 or 4 years. He's always been very involved in VLCT, not just in this, but I think he's been the president of their board. My point is he's been plugged in specifically to the Vermont community. There will still be a national search because it'll go in, no matter who does it, it'll go in ICMA and it'll go in the Vermont's league, VLCT, it'll go in Maine's and New Hampshire's and Connecticut's. That's just what they all do. But I think Dominic, because he's actually still doing it, will have a better feel. When you talk to Dominic, he'll understand what it means, what you're saying, because
Yeah.
he's got experience when you're talking to his
MRI.
PR academics, I think doing Montpelier's. you're gonna get a nice dog and pony show, and you're gonna be talking to somebody who at some point had some municipal experience, and they'll tell you that they're doing a great job, but they won't have the personal connection that the LCT and Dominic does. So I wouldn't worry about the time. If you want to get somebody else, don't say because we don't have enough time, because you have all the time. you need
Yeah.
To do it. You can get that done. But don't do it just because it makes you feel a certain way. Say, I don't want to go this way because I have an unanswered question, and I think a RFQ will answer that question for me. If the pricing isn't right, if you've heard less than good things about any of the candidates, and that makes you uncomfortable, if you think his background is not something that's a good match, like all of those things, well, I'd like to find somebody else. But to say that town right next to us just went through the exact same thing. They did their due diligence. They came up with this.
3 towns right next to us and then
Yeah,
2
Woodstock-
towns
Woodstock,
fairly close to us.
Hartford and Springfield.
All of which had disastrous prior experiences before the current hires are in place. And that's kind of why I get adamant.
Yeah, one of his strong points, for like, when we were on the Zoom meeting with him was the fact that he's like a local guy. He knows this area, but also he knows small town government and small town communities. And that was one of the things that I was really looking, because consultants, like, they all do the same thing, but some of them are just like, this is what we do, this is how we do it. But he just seemed to really understand like the small town, like our little small town charm. And I don't know, it just, it made me
Well,
feel good.
So how long was your meeting with Dominic? Was it like a half hour? Y'all just like, he goes through spiel.
It was
you-
about I'd feel like
Okay.
a half hour.
If we were gonna talk to somebody else like MRI, just to like, because I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. However, I also agree with you. Would y'all want to do that, or could it be something that like Mary and I tag team or something like that, just so y'all don't have to do it again and it's like different people?
It doesn't necessarily have to be MRI. That's the only one I could think
Yeah.
of. But
That's the only other name I know.
Right, the only one I know.
Do y'all feel comfortable with us looking through, and just because now we know VLCT is a great option, we like Dominic, good vibes. Do you have half an hour for local democracy? Cause I do, and then we'll meet with somebody. Do you know what I mean?
Why don't we ask them to present to the whole board?
Do y'all want to do that?
Next step.
I thought he was coming tonight. That's how I understood.
Oh,
that he
no,
was coming
no.
tonight to talk to us to
He-
do
we
this
talked about-
sales.
Yep.
We talked about that and he recommended that Kara and I just do the screening first with him. And the next step would be, and what I had kind of like sidetracked on about the other meeting was trying to get him here next week for a special meeting to meet with all of us.
But
But we wanted to screen him first and he wanted us to do that
yeah,
first.
I get that. And I get Tom's point, and I think Dominic's, it's not just Dominic, it's VLTC, right?
Yes.
But, Tommy Enrell ran Springfield before they hired Mobus. He's on the list, same price as VLTC. He comes with a lot of experience, a lot of local experience, was all right. You know, again, I mean, there's a lot of other names out here that I think are kind of the garbage ones. Well, I shouldn't say that.
What was that one? Tom?
Enrell. But
Tom General's been a town manager for a long time. He was in Springfield, not right before Jeff. Springfield hired, Tom retired.
Okay.
Springfield hired somebody else, didn't work out. And then from that, they hired Jeff Mobus, who had worked for Springfield for a long time, so finance manager.
And you think Tom would be good? Do you want me and Jeffrey to
No,
meet with him as
I
well?
don't think, I think that getting a sales pitch from one person and going, yeah, that's our one, like, I just think we should talk to other people.
That's what I'm trying to do. So which ones would you like us to meet with?
Yeah, I'm willing to.
Well, I'm looking at somebody else's RFP, right? So
Yep.
again,
But our neighboring town, do you really think we would get more than that if we put our own
I
out?
don't know what we would get because I don't know.
Does it cost money to put out an
No, it
pitch?
doesn't cost the same.
It doesn't, but I get my point is, you do it, you say, we're gonna put out an RFP because I want to see X.
I
You
would
just want to see different? Like, oh, I found vanilla, I want to see.
I think Mary and Emma, I would like to see different. Yes, we would like to
Oh,
see.
yeah, because
That's
we don't
okay.
know what's out there.
Well, that's also because Springfield and Windsor are different places. And I think that if they have a formula that works for Springfield, that's great. We're just a little bit different.
They haven't
I
even
think.
hired anybody yet. They
Yes.
aren't through their process yet.
Okay, but we can put out the RFP. We can put up the roof,
Yeah, except you have plenty of time to do it.
okay. How do we do, how does
Or
that?
at a
That was my question.
Or at a minimum, just ask some of these other places if they're interested. I mean, you have,
Well, they're all interested.
you can throw,
In Springfield.
you can throw, if you don't want to go through the whole process, you can ask some of these ones that are more local. And whatever, but I don't think that
Okay.
just going, yeah,
So we need a game plan of how to meet with,
And I'm willing,
because
yeah, I'm willing to talk to people.
December's coming, so.
Just put out another RFP.
Okay.
This,
Now, do we do it, Tom, or?
no,
I don't have a clue how to do it.
I'll handle it.
Okay.
I'll have somebody handle
Thank you,
it.
Tom.
It's, just don't let this turn into
It's not,
this quagmire of everyone's afraid to make a decision.
it's not.
I'm recommending
Okay.
Tom. Springfield is recommending Tom because I know almost everybody on the list. Have Dom come in, meet with the entire board, see what you think. To me, you're all just spinning around in circles saying, but we should hear from other people. Why? I don't know, because variety
They're
is
different
good.
places and you don't know if another place
Yeah.
is worth it. And if we get the same thing, then we go, okay, Tom, you're
I
right.
get it. I get it. Just don't waste your time. And there's Springfield and there's Hartford.
So my question is still, how do you guys want to do this? We can keep talking about it and going in circles, but are we going to tag team and meet with some people? I mean,
I think it would make sense to put out the
the
RFQ,
RFP,
whatever.
see what we get back,
Mhm.
and then meet with people on our RFP?
Yes, we can decide,
Everybody
okay, we
good
got
with
the
that?
same damn list.
I think
whatever
we
department.
yeah, we would.
Maybe we'd like tag,
It
you
doesn't
know,
even need
like,
to be that long, 2 weeks.
I mean,
okay.
the people.
Well, it'd just be the same, it's not like a unique process. I'll just do it the same way Hartford and Springfield and Woodstock and all that have done.
Yeah.
You put out a request, it goes out to the places where those companies see it.
Yep.
Give them, I would say you give them till the end of December to get back to you because Thanksgiving's in the middle of all that. Everybody does have lives. And
The
then,
end of
or
December?
I'm sorry, end of November.
Okay, I got a little scared.
Sorry
there.
about that.
Like, ooh.
And, in the meantime, I would still have a meeting with Don.
I think that I agree with you.
And go like that. If you're all going, hey, man, that's a dud.
Okay,
If you're saying, this is good, you can still look through the other presentations. The other things you can do is, Montpelier, Killington, Ludlow, who else? I can put together, there's ads out there. Just go on VLCT's or ICMA's thing and look at what they put out, see if there's a difference, or check out the minute meetings of those different towns to see what those board discussions were like, or reach out to the chair of the Springfield board and chair of the Hartford board, to see what they did. I guess why I get concerned, I do want this to work for a lot of reasons. And there are a lot of examples of it not working. The one person who has made 100% good hires is Don. The one person who has had a very successful career, not 8 years here and 3 years here and 1 year there, is Don. Because he's doing it well. So that's where all this came from. I wasn't pulling a name out of a hat. He's not my friend. I don't get anything for it. I just wanted to work.
so we're gonna RFP it.
So we still want to meet with Dom next week.
Yeah.
That would be the next question, yeah. I mean, what do you?
So like, if you guys aren't comfortable with that process, if you don't want to do the RFP, we have names.
Yeah,
I don't think we just meet with one, ask, is there anybody else on this?
I
list?
think we're doing it all at the same time, basically. We're double
Yeah.
checking with an RFP and also calling in this Dominic fellow.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to just reach out to the other companies on that
I'm
list,
saying that's on this.
it's not like there's
they
100 of
really
these
think
companies.
this is what we're gonna get?
It'd be very similar, but I think you have at least 2 or 3 local folks on here.
That we could meet with?
Yeah, we're looking, I think it's almost a very good point that we want somebody that understands, again, I'm just seeing, you've got Yenner on there and you've got,
Okay.
who's that Taligenti or was the Lebanon guy
Which
is
one?
on there.
I just wanna write down the
No,
ones that we should
I
be
don't
meeting
know.
with.
It's quite a bit more expensive, but I think even throughout the MRI, I mean, they hired a very successful town manager for us. Why not have?
Oh,
them if
and
they want to-
for,
This is not a reflection on MRI. MRI for a long time was like the go-to company. And like any go-to companies, sometimes you do good and sometimes you get clunkers. And sometimes past experience cloud what people think about MRI, and they stand alone in their footprint in New England. So it may be that Springfield didn't ask them. I don't know. But I know amongst our peers, that, well, I don't know, I don't have a problem. They hired me. I like them. Oh, I don't know. They hired so-and-so and I don't like them. So reaching out to them is fine, but don't put any weight on why Springfield did or didn't. Why they may not have responded, because they may not have been asked.
So do we want to meet with,
Well, see, Dom, if we met, Dom was ready to jump right in and do a working session.
she was, yeah.
I
8 months away from when we want somebody on.
Oh, my Lanta.
No, we would want someone on board in December because they would have to.
A replacement.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But we need to have somebody realistically in December so that we can advertise in January.
How is he paid? Is it a total fee?
Mhm.
We just give him $20,000 or whatever. and then-
We pay VCLT.
If you read his
Right.
proposal, it's at the end.
Yeah, it's in here. It's in the.
Yeah.
Candidates hired.
And you really need to have a candidate. You need to hire someone in March
Yeah,
because they're going to have to, my contract requires a 90-day notice.
yes.
I don't want to be
We're
jerky.
getting
If
to
this doesn't
the,
go well, I get this, Jeff said the same thing. I'll hang around as long as you need me if you're doing the thing right. If you guys are just not going to do it right, I'm done on June 30th.
Okay.
I don't mean in a bad way.
Honey, I hear
just
you.
Can't get,
Boundaries are very important. to
that's
us.
the whole point. It's that there's a boundary so we can all stay focused.
Then maybe you could reach out. We don't have that list in front of us, so maybe you could reach out to a few of those people that on that list that Ryan has.
Hear other.
that's what I
you
was
wanna hear-
wondering, like,
You want to
do you-
hear a couple other sales pitches
yeah,
in the
Yeah.
next, you can just hear them all.
you want me to see if they can come to a meeting?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily, I mean, if we're going to just hear some different people,
Let's do it.
let's just hear some different people
Right.
and not have to do the whole RFP process. Again, I'm not
Okay.
disagreeing that by all counts, the LTC process is probably going to be the one that we'll all agree with. Price point wise,
I thought it was pretty good.
it's the, there's somebody else on there that I've never heard of.
Now, are you guys okay with that? If we don't do an RFP, if we take people, okay.
As long as you reach out to some,
So one person we're gonna reach out to is Tom. I'm gonna butcher that.
General.
You know who I'm talking about, though, the general. And do we want like,
I think ask MRI just because they're
who is
kind of
it?
MR, Municipal Resources Incorporated, just because they're MRI. So
Oh, MRI, I got you. Sorry, I don't think I can hear. MRI,
On a scale
Okay.
of 1 to 10, how much of a pain is it to make it just,
RFP request.
how much, like, serious, on a scale of 1 to 10, is it like a 4? Is it like an 8?
It's a 10
Is it like a
thing.
2?
He can copy another one.
I feel like three of us are okay with that
Find and
one.
replace.
You can use ChatGPT.
You know,
I don't religiously. I
But
would.
that's kind of the funny thing. Like, I know Tom pretty well.
Yeah.
And
Tom,
Tom General, and he's retired. He's a very active fella, and skiing, traveling, things like that. But he's also done a number of interim stints. Ludlow, Woodstock, Killington, I think. What?
He's Springfield too.
Springfield. Yeah. So that's what he's done, but he hasn't really formally been in the business of managing. Like, I don't know that he's hired anybody. He probably has, but it's kind of like, oh yeah, I can help. I know. Oh, Heartland. He hired, I think, John Broker Campbell in Heartland. So, for Tom, writing an RFP may be, I'm not going to say difficult, but I don't think he doesn't have a body of work where he can't just do Chat GPT and fill it in or do.
I also strike that from the record. I did not actually say that.
Well, it's legit though. You have to look to see, is there thought, but that kind of gets into the whole thing to the personal aspect versus, change the name of the town, Chat GPT it.
No, I
and-
know.
and
I'm like,
It'll look really pretty with pictures. There are pretty pictures of Windsor.
so,
Emma.
should we have a special meeting and invite these guys before the end of the month?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
So,
So we have Tom General and MRI. Is there anybody else that you guys want to come in and pitch their?
Are we allowed to, after this meeting, say, hey, Tara, also this person, and then we reach out to them or no?
Yeah.
I doubt that I have one, but I would like to know these things.
Set a special meeting to
Okay.
interview, search firms. Set it up to be remote, because Tom, for example, I know lives in Burke. So
Okay.
you don't want to come all the way down here for that particularly, schedule half-hour appointments and just do it that way.
Should we try to do it next week because Thanksgiving is the following week?
Like on the
Wait
9th.
until Thursday.
You're away till Thursday, Ryan, the 20th?
Yeah. I wait a conference and then I get.
What about the 21st?
I was thinking, what about Friday, the 21st? I don't have anything on my calendar yet.
Okay.
What time? Could we do it at like,
Whatever time we want. What works for you guys?
mm,
I have a doctor's appointment at 11:30, but
Okay.
if we did like start at 2 o'clock or something,
Could you
That
guys
seems
do
reasonable.
2 o'clock on Friday, the 21st?
I mean, Tom's generally off.
Do you work?
do you have to go?
Do you do?
No, you probably don't want me in this.
Well, we love you, but I don't want you to have to go if this is already like. I will make the.
Look, I am trying to be forceful yet
Does that you work during the day?
Maybe I do work during the day. Could we, but also. How long do we think the meeting's gonna be? I just also,
If you do 3 to 4, I mean, figure 45 minutes, you have a little bit of time in between to talk. You want 15, 20, 30 minutes to talk.
okay,
amongst
between 3
yourselves
and
in
4.
between After, half hour.
You wanna do what, 3:30? Can you do 3:30?
Yeah.
Can everybody do 3:30?
Whatever works for you three, I can be there. Yeah.
So we're gonna plan on having a special meeting at 3:30 on Friday, November 21st. And so, Jeffrey and I could reach out to Tom and MRI and see if they're available. And if they could come down and just,
Virtual, we want to do it.
and it can be a virtual meeting, so they don't even have to come in person, but that way we can hear from a couple more people before we make a decision. And everybody's okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. I think we have a solid plan here.
And what day will you say?
Friday, the 20th.
21st.
Friday, the 21st.
I should be good for that in that, or somebody, because you need to have somebody at a physical location
Yep.
and it should still be filmed. So if it means I come in and I sit here, turn on the machine when you guys are done, I come and turn off the machine, I can do that.
Okay. All right, well then let's move on and get right into the town manager's report. Take it away, Tom.
I quit.
That is, you do not put it on the town manager's report. That is not.
And then it's not real, I can't do that. Everything's good. I know you see, this is the part where I get to start being tense. You guys have spent the last 6 months, but what are we gonna do? We've never done this before. And I'm going, okay, now you gotta do it. Let's get it done right. Don't start being one of those boards that goes, I can't figure out how to do anything. I don't want to make a decision. I'll hurt someone's feelings. Sorry, let's get on to the town manager's report. Paving update, the only real update is everything, well, Depot Avenue didn't get paved because their machine broke down. The parking lot didn't get paved because the state didn't give us the final okay yet. So we found that out first. And since Depot wasn't done, I told them, don't get set up and break down twice, just we'll do it all in the spring. So that's all still getting done. I did meet with the engineers on the Durkee and Central Street project. I should be having their final design with cost estimates certainly before the end of the year. I'll have a preliminary thing before the end of the month.
The guys were saying they thought, Greg was saying the end of the month, though, they thought the houses would be here or,
The houses?
yeah,
Um,
or I misunderstood.
yeah,
Maybe it's December.
well, Greg has been telling me that the houses were gonna be here mid-November. And I misunderstood. I thought he had knocked both houses down. I went down there and looked. Only one of them's knocked down, but one's knocked down and the foundation is done.
Yeah.
So, and I just got the bill for the foundation being done for one. So I got to catch up with Greg to see what the new schedule is, but I'm assuming that one of the houses anyway will be done by, I want to say December.
Wow.
They just kind of, once they get the foundation, they just kind of stick it on there, button it up.
Oh, yeah, see, like what I was expecting was him to say, hey, we've got the stamp, all the engineer stamps on the design because it was a new design for them. So that's done. It's going through the pipeline. We need some money because now they're charging him to build it. I haven't got that. And I haven't really pressed it, just knowing that Greg's involved with the diner and people are, thinking about getting the diner reopened.
Yeah.
He's involved with the building across from the Union Square apartments where they're doing some renovations there. So he's got his hands full. He hasn't just been dragging feet, and kind of, we knocked him back for at least a week by that big project, digging holes all over the street out front. So I'll have more information, but we should have one of them done anyway. I think it's going to get into whether or not he can pour the second foundation before it gets too cold.
So sweet.
But
I'm excited to
Construction.
see these. So you said one would be done by December?
I'm thinking so, like the foundation is done, so Greg and I have been going back and forth with emails. Hey, could you please pay this invoice? You didn't attach an invoice. Okay. How about this? I can't open that attachment, so we just send that back. And all of his emails say, please excuse my brevity. I'm typing on my phone. So he's a busy fella.
Yeah.
The holiday plans for the town, this is something that is,
What are the holiday plans for the town?
well,
Are you gonna tell us something really exciting?
somebody that isn't me.
Brian,
Look like.
Grow a beard.
Rob Santa,
Huh?
Rob's got a Santa suit.
There you go.
He's doing the thrift stores doing a Santa thing and he's their Santa.
Oh, and Cassie's?
Yeah, and he's the Santa for my Christmas light every year.
Oh my God, that's cool.
I don't want to step on fire department.
Okay. Just
I
keep in
could-
mind.
I don't know if they have to pull teeth on a Santa or if they have people taking lotto tickets to get Santa. So, but anyway,
He's
get
around.
to know. So we will have that. I think we've figured out how to have the Santa parade and get to all the streets and get that word out.
We're
We,
gonna have a Santa parade?
well, he goes around on the fire truck and
Oh,
they
okay.
throw candy at kids and
Okay.
everyone's happy.
Kids.
Two kids. We have purchased additional, decorations like, big illuminated stars that hang on the poles. So Riley is specifically into that. So when you're supposed to be shopping for Christmas decorations, like at the end of Christmas season, not right before, she's been adding every year, and we saw more up at the Common and red and white stripes instead of blue on all the, things like that. So there's an actual thought process behind it. But where we have always fallen short, is getting anybody interested to do anything bigger, whether that's carols or hot chocolate and
Like
some
an event or something, like an outside,
Yeah,
like a
well-
gazebo kind of thing.
Yeah.
right. We've had, I think, one skating party that has more to do with the weather.
Oh,
So, and that usually doesn't happen until January.
I would be interested in getting something poppin'.
Well, and that's why I just throw it out there. Ryan, like the schools got a choir. There are churches that have choirs.
Mhm.
Somebody was talking to me about talking to the different churches to see if they would do, not necessarily for Christmas, but like a joint church choir thing,
That would actually be really cool.
So I got them the contacts for the churches in town.
Well, some years ago, each church, Old South, Rachel Hollow, when they had services there, Trinity, St. Paul's, all had a choir. Thanksgiving, they would all take turns and it would be one big choir at one particular church. And the next year they would change the location and they would do like a choral thing. But now we don't have
Yeah.
really the Catholic Church, the priests they share, we don't have St. Paul's anymore, but there was something similar with that
Mhm.
idea, and maybe they collected for food
Yeah.
at the same time, but I'm just wondering about the gazebo outside idea. It's just time.
It would be cool if we could do cause we have a small town, if we could do,
Like
caroling
caroling.
And maybe like a hot coffee station at the common
And
or
only one
like,
of you can sing.
What about some competing groups of carolers? Like, get your neighborhood together.
If I could curb your enthusiasm,
no,
I have lots of
We
these
like the
conversations,
holiday.
and if you see
but
any of them
nobody
take
wants
place,
to do the.
right? So I'm
Me
saying
and Mary would do
Riley
it.
will take care of decorations. We can help promote,
Great.
Okay.
but what we haven't been able to do, because I don't think any of us have that kind of personal connection with any of these things. But we do know things that there's like Larry Jones, who's involved with that brass band. He's got what, if it's too cold outside, they gotta play inside because their trumpets freeze or something like that. Sorry, Larry, but they, it's what you see
You
and
need a grassrootsy kind of.
that's what it is. It's-
Well, that's why her and I are looking at each
Well, then
other
you-
and
you
looking
go.
at Emma and
Motion, they do it.
thinking you never know
Second.
together.
You guys are the holiday committee, Kara and Mary.
There you go. Right now, nothing happens. So if something happens, it's better.
Right? And we would get credit. No,
We should talk about.
I think we should.
I just made a motion that you and Kara, the
Yeah.
holiday committee.
But I really think we
Okay,
could do
let's go-
something and then
let's
we get
focus
in
on-
like, we come in, we talk with Riley.
Yep.
I know Emma would join us because we would make her and I.
I know Jeff.
think
Who
that
doesn't
this
like
is
We
exciting.
say something amazing. You got
Nothing, no sentences can start with we should. You can start with we have.
Okay. We are
Oh,
going
We
to-
have this available. How can we get it promoted and scheduled in town? That's what Riley can do.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
We'll talk
Yeah.
for sure.
Isn't that exciting?
We'll see. We'll see. We can
Meeting.
get crazy.
Yeah.
with it.
Make a motion.
Second.
Ryan made a motion to sign the order.
I second.
Emma seconded it. Is there any discussion? Ryan, how do you vote? Aye. Aye.
Okay, I know you've all reviewed them. You just need to sign. the
Okay.
page. The only thing to sign.
I woke up. Just never went back to sleep. It was great.
That's it.
I worked all day.
Yeah.
Right up until this.
Yeah, we have,
And it was very busy. I lost part of my day.
I woke up and then I couldn't go back to sleep.
No, just close the lid. Close the lid.
Going over everything.
Are there any public comments for items not on the agenda? Anybody out there? Anyone?
All right, all right.
You have comment?
It's just the one, it's just,
Oh.
let me look through. Okay.
How about board member comments? Ryan, why don't you take it away?
Oh, you know what? Speaking of Paula, the other day, this weekend, we had an interview. Paula and John Canty, the little show. John's got a new show out,
Yes.
interviewing folks from Windsor, and I think it's really cool getting some oral history from people that you may see around town. We're getting, Gina's was really interesting, hearing her whole thing, so that's a cool thing on Windsor on Air. And,
Community conversations.
Yeah, we're doing Kate Gilson, Kate Williams. Yeah, Kate Williams. On Saturday, she was the original person.
Yeah.
Wow,
5 years ago.
that's awesome.
The original person of what?
Running Windsor on Air.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She was the one that like started it and I remember,
25 years ago.
I remember,
Dave Taft.
Do you
and
remember?
John Canty had their,
TNT show,
it rivaled,
Yeah.
TNT.
but Kate used to always be around with the video. Carol, like she started
which was the thing, all these?
Windsor on Air. It's just the top one. Just the top
Just the
one.
top one, yeah.
Right, Tom?
All right.
Because you've already reviewed them online.
Yeah.
If you had questions, but
We already perused them. I hope everybody has a safe and healthy Thanksgiving.
Let's see each other first. I wanted to publicize that Jedi is going to be hosting the Trans Day of Remembrance in Windsor at the Common next Thursday on November 20th at 6 p.m. We're going to have two speakers, Jesse Burrows and Grace Alden, who both spoke last year and were really wonderful. And I hope that anybody that can go feels drawn to what is going to be a very important event in our community, especially right now. Thank you.
Is it?
Did you say 6 p.m.?
Yes, Thursday, November 20th at 6 p.m.
I will be there.
Heck, yes.
Okay, so, I don't really have any comments. I just am looking forward to getting this hiring process going.
Yes.
I don't really have any comments either, except now I'm getting a little excited about if you have ideas for Christmas, you can email us, but we want doer bees, not just ideas. We need bodies.
At the Windsor house,
I'll do the
Mhm.
group.
big thing,
Mhm.
Santa would come,
Mhm.
but Jane and Ted put it on. And, somebody took that over. It's very popular.
You're really gonna have to, ask for RFPs though. If you get a bunch of choirs that wanna get in, don't just, not all comers. Don't take one person's opinion that they're the best choir in town. You'll have to do auditions and stuff.
Bunny, bunny, bunny.
RFQ.
All
I
right.
thought it was for RF choir, but Q. All right, I'll revisit that.
I'm gonna adjourn this meeting at 7:41.